Hey everyone, what's up? Today is January 27th and I just really want to do a sit down video and talk to you, and I was like, I don't really know what to do. So then I was like, let me talk about my experience working at Charlotte Russe. I'm just gonna put it out there right now. Working at Charlotte Russe for me personally was not a good experience. Maybe there are people out there that work there and absolutely love it, but for me it was not a good experience. My sister also worked there and she had a very similar experience, and she worked at a different Charlotte Russe than I did. So the Charlotte Russe that I worked at was in an outlet mall, and it was just opening. I happened to be going to the outlets and I saw that they were opening and they were hiring. So I emailed the district manager, I believe it was, and talked to her. She set up an interview, had my interview. I honestly didn't think it went that well because this was back in like 2011, 2012. I can't really remember. 2011 actually, yes, sorry, 2011. And I was like really shy, like more shyer than I am now. So I've gotten a little better with interviews, but that interview was like one of my first real interviews. Besides like the daycare that I used to work at, because at the time that I was applying for Charlotte Russe, I was trying to leave the daycare. So so I had like one real interview under my belt. So I had my interview, didn't think it went that well, but she was like, I'll let you know like in a week. A week goes by after the interview and I messaged her because I didn't hear anything. I firmly believe that you should message your employer or whoever it is to see how like your interview went. So I like to express interest. I don't bombard them. I just message them, say, hey, I had an interview, or I filled out an application this many days ago. I was wondering what the status of my application, or if whatever, like just trying to get an update on if I got the job or what they're doing. Okay, so I did that and she told me that she wasn't sure or whatever. Not wasn't sure, but she wasn't done like everything, so she would let me know in a couple days. So then like a couple days go by, more than a couple days, probably about a week goes by, and I message her back and I'm like, hey, just checking in because I haven't heard from you. And she was like, oh, well, we already hired everybody. You should have emailed me and told me that you were interested in the job. You told me at the interview you would let me know, and then you told me when I touch base with you a week after the interview that you would let me know. And now you're saying that I should have let you know that I wanted the job? So anyway, all that BS was done and I got the job. So they just told me the date and time of my first shift. So I go there at that time and I'm like looking for the manager. She was like, did you fill out your paperwork? And I was like, no. She's like, you weren't given any paperwork to fill out? And I was like, no. So she's like, okay. So I had to go in the back and fill out all the paperwork. And then I'm done that, and she was like, okay, so now I'm gonna like kind of train you. She was like, we have 4 zones, this zone, that zone, whatever all the zones are. And she was like, you just need to make sure that you keep your zone clean, and here's a sale that we're having today, and then like listing all the signs of if somebody's stealing. And then that was it. So I worked like probably my first day, I think I was scheduled about like 5 or 6 hours, and I worked like 1 or 2 and they sent me home. Oh, but another thing I forgot, pretty much every day I worked there, they were like, we're gonna train you for cashier, and they never did. And I worked there for about a month because I remember I got 2 checks, so I worked there for about 3 to 4 weeks. Never trained me for cashier, which I mean, it is what it is, but I don't really care. But don't tell me you're going to train me for something, because I honestly wanted to be a cashier. Don't tell me you're going to train me for something and then never do it. So anyway, back to the second day of work. So then I was just working and I was talking to this girl, well, the manager, and she was like, are you here till close? I'm like, I'm only scheduled till 8 o'clock. And she was like, well, that means you're closing. Since when was schedule me till 8 o'clock closing when the store closes at 9? That makes no sense. I mean, I could maybe see if the store closes at 8 and you write people's schedule like 5 to 8 or whatever. Then maybe that's closing, but I personally don't think that that's closing. If you're scheduled 5 to 8, you leave at 8. I don't know if that's just me or what it is or what, but if your schedules will close, your schedule should stay until close. I was just like, okay. So that was like the only day that I actually worked my scheduled time. Well, actually later, because I think I ended up staying until probably about 9:30 or 10, because that's when we finished cleaning up. But every other time they would schedule me like 4 to 6 hours, and I would work like 2. And this was like in the city, so I had to take the Parkway, which was I think a 75-cent toll each way, and then I had to pay about $5 just to park. So I was spending $5 and $7.50, or 75 cents and 75 cents as well, $1.50. So I was paying about like $6 to $7 every time I had to work, plus gas and all that, and I was only working 2 hours. So that's like half my day's pay right there. And then I remember, like, I think my second or third day, I'd been wearing like pretty much the same outfit. So I was wearing moccasins, my like Airwalk moccasins, jeans, and like a plain red top, because I figured it doesn't really matter what we wear as long as there's like no logo, like brand names that aren't Charlotte Russe on it. So yeah, I thought I was fine because I've been wearing pretty much that similar outfit every day I worked. And the manager was like, you can't wear that to work. And I'm like, oh, sorry. I wasn't aware of the dress code. She was like, nobody told you the dress code? And I was like, no. She's like, okay, well, just to let you know, you can't wear that. Never told me the dress code, never said, hey, like, I have a copy of the policy, or there's a policy manual or something, make sure you get that after your shift. Nothing like that. Just said, you can't wear that. Like, keep in mind, like, I know maybe looking back this is kind of like stupid of me, but like I never worked in retail. That was really my only retail job, so I honestly couldn't even tell you like what a retail person should wear. I've never worked in retail. Every job I've had, at the daycare I could pretty much wear whatever I want, and every other job I've had after that, I had a set uniform, and I was told what I had to wear prior to coming to work. I was given a dress code, I was given a policy manual, I knew everything, I knew all the policies, but no. Not this place. This place sucked. So I was working there for like a couple weeks, and then I went to look at the schedule and I wasn't on the schedule. So I'm like, okay, like whatever, maybe it's just because it's new and they have so many people, they want to like rotate the people and like see who's a fit, see who they're going to keep, who they're going to get rid of. So then I was just like, okay, whatever, because I still had my other job, so I didn't really care too much. I was really pretty much only working there on the weekends and at night. So then the next week goes by and I call them to see if I'm to get my hours, and I wasn't on the schedule. And I'm like, okay, well, like, why am I not on the schedule? She's like, well, I don't know, because I don't make the schedule and blah, blah, blah. You're going to have to talk to, I don't know, whoever makes the schedule. And I'm like, okay. Honestly, back then I was like immature, so I just like, I stopped calling. I didn't care. Like, okay, whatever, you're not going to put me on the schedule. Like, I don't care. I'm not going to like keep hounding you to put me on the schedule. I'll just stick with my other job. But at the same time, it's like that was a little immature of me, but like that's immature of you. Like, if you don't want me to work for you, like, don't just stop putting me on the schedule. Tell me that you don't need me anymore or something. So that was my experience working at Charlotte Russe. If you had any similar experiences, please let me know. I actually love watching storytime videos about working at certain stores or problems people have had with certain stores. It's very interesting to me. So if you have a video on that, leave it down in the comments, or if you have a similar experience to me, let me know down in the comments, because I don't know, I just love reading stories about like how this store is terrible and how that store is terrible and all that stuff, because then I'm like, wow, it's not just my Forever 21, it's not just my Charlotte Russe, it's like all of them. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!